Hey guys, it's your pal Loser here. Um, just thought I'd come back with a little story. It's about time to tell you the story of when I died, since it is the year anniversary of it today. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned on any of my previous stuff. I know I mentioned the Suboxone Clinic and stuff, but to get there was a long road that started with pain medicine and methadone and all kind of heinous shit. And whenever the methadone clinic decided to kick me out, I don't know if I've already told this story, but the methadone clinic kicked me out because I wasn't able to pay anymore. I mean, I am a loser, and I had to go on a financial detox. And if anybody's been on methadone, you know how hard it is to come off of that mess. It is insanity. But I started doing research and looking up stuff and seeing what I could do because the withdrawals were setting in pretty ridiculously, and I didn't like it. I'm sure nobody does, but um, I started taking loperamide, a very high dose loperamide, and it. I mean, some people swear by it, and I didn't think of the dangers at the time, but for about 3 years, I would take between 150 and 200 Imodium tablets every day. Every morning when I woke up, that was my first thing. That was my breakfast. Was 200, 150 to 200 Imodium pills. Um, I had read over and over again that it can cause heart stuff and everything, but you think you're invincible. I guess people automatically just think they're invincible from anything. I was not. So last year, on this date, last year, I went to work. I had taken my usual 150 dose, and I went to work and started feeling a little weird. And I thought it was like the heat that was bothering me, and it was, but because I do a laborious job and manual labor stuff. I build furniture and stuff like that. Still do, but I started feeling strange and kind of lightheaded and faint and just not good all the way around. And so I told my manager, I'm like, look, man, I don't feel well. I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna hit the bus, man. I'm gonna see if I can go to the doctor or something. He's like, yeah, sure, go ahead, whatever, whatever you need. Well, I didn't even make it to the bus stop. I got outside and I started walking in the middle of the parking lot. Apparently, I fainted. I passed out. A police officer found me, luckily, about 15 minutes later, not responsive. I had no pulse. Um, he did CPR. They called the ambulance out. They rushed me to Vanderbilt Hospital. And I woke up. I came to, and the nurse and doctor were in there. And they said, "Wow, you were dead when the guy found you. You were he worked on you and couldn't get you for 6 minutes. You had a no rhythm." And I was like, "Wow." I was like, "What happened?" What? She said, "Well, we think it's the heat stroke because when you came in, your body temperature was 106. So we believe that that's probably what happened." And I was like, "Wow." And I don't have insurance, so they were. Within like 20 minutes of me waking up, they were like, "Well, we're gonna discharge you." I was like, "Oh, okay." Don't have insurance, so I guess that's all you can do. But right when she was about to hand me my discharge paper, I clutched my chest and said, "Please help me," and I died again. That time it was congestive heart failure, total heart failure, that I had brought on myself with the loperamide diet that I had been doing for the past few years. It had severely messed with the electrolyte balance in my heart, and that time it took them 26 minutes to get me back to life. They ended up breaking my sternum and 6 ribs just trying to beat me back to life and doing chest compressions and all that mess, which was brutal when I woke up, man. Having your sternum cracked and your ribs cracked on top of having a tube down your throat and being kept alive by life support. and I had a pacemaker put in, all kind of craziness, all because of loperamide and a drug addiction. I mean, I could say I'm lucky to be here because the lady said that like only about 1% of people actually survived that whenever that happens. And most people that they even did a little study on me because they had not seen a case like mine in Vanderbilt. They'd seen it at a few other hospitals that have survived, but not at Vanderbilt. And but they did a study on me. They took pretty good care of me. I was in the hospital for a while, and I came clean to it. I told them, look, this is what I've been doing, man. I've been taking boatloads of loperamide, and it's wreaked havoc on my body. And they said, yeah, that's an understatement. It's really wreaked havoc on your body. You have the heart of a 70-year-old man. I was like, oh, great. And to this day, I still have heart problems. I mean, I'm a lot better than I was. But they are the reason why I'm still alive, the Vanderbilt University clinics and stuff, because they're the ones that got me put on the Suboxone program and got me the life-saving stuff that I need. And even though I still got to pay for most everything, because apparently dying and having congestive heart failure for the rest of your life is not good enough to get Medicare. Guess you got to do more than die to get Medicare from our government. But yeah, man, it was a rough time, man. It was awful, and there's no way I should be standing here right now. If it would have been 10 minutes later, I would have been on the street outside, and I would have definitely died. But luckily for me, I was inside of the hospital when I had my heart failure, because there was no way I would have survived it outside of it. They were actually about to give up on me, and the doctor said, let me shock him one more time, and if he doesn't respond, then we'll call time of death. And luckily for me, I responded on that last shock, and here we are. I'm back today. I probably should have died about 1,000 times in my life. I'll have plenty more stories for you guys because I've been a complete idiot my entire life. And I regret a lot of it, but it makes for interesting stories. So that's why I figured I'd start this channel and tell some interesting stories. Everybody keeps telling me you should start a channel because your life has been weird and all over the map. So I figured I'd do it. And I hope somebody gets anything out of this. Man, please don't go the route of loperamide. If you're on some kind of medication that you cannot get off, if you're on heroin, man, do yourself a favor. If you're on heroin and you have to get off, don't go to methadone. Whatever you do, don't do that. You're trading a chihuahua for an elephant, man, because go through the 5-day hell of withdrawals. It might, it's going to take a lot longer for the mental withdrawals. I know that, but physical withdrawals from heroin might be way more intense, but they are way shorter. And I mean, when I went to jail, and this is another story for another time, but I went to jail and I had to detox off of methadone because in our state, they do not treat opiate addiction in the jails. So when I went to jail, I was kind of flat out. They just took me off of everything, and I was in there for 90 days, and I guarantee for 60 of those 90 days I didn't sleep. I almost guarantee it, because you cannot sleep. The restless leg syndrome from methadone is insane, and it will cause you, you have chills, and you're hot all the time, and then you're freezing cold. You're either hot or you're freezing cold. You feel like you got the flu, you got body ache. It's ridiculously brutal. So if anybody has any inkling of, man, I gotta get off this junk and try to go to methadone, don't go to methadone, please. I know it has helped people. I know it has, and I'm not trying to demonize methadone. I'm not at all. I know it helps people every day. But, man, just, if you have to get something, if you have to do maintenance, go to Suboxone. It's so much harder to abuse. you can abuse methadone easily. So it's so much harder to abuse Suboxone. You'll have more freedom with Suboxone. You won't have to be tied to that clinic like methadone clinic. You're tied to that clinic like a freaking IV. You have to take it with you everywhere. It's just not worth it. In my case, it's just not worth it. I would steer anybody away from the methadone clinic towards Suboxone if they had to have something. If they do it without anything, that's even better. Because I promise you, man, when you get clean, and I know I'm medically assisted clean, so some people don't consider me clean because I'm on Suboxone, but whenever you're clean, just don't. You hate the fact that you have to take a pill every day to maintain some sense of normalcy. So if you can do it without that, man, try it. If not, I get it. I understand. I can't. I mean, I couldn't do it. And I don't know if I'll ever be completely off of everything, but I hope to be one day. Hopefully, before I die again, I will be off of the medicines. But if not, so be it. I've done this to myself. This is my life. I mean, I've done it. I can't really blame anybody but myself. I mean, yeah, you can blame doctors and say they overprescribe and all that, but they're just trying to help you. They're just doing what they think's best. And I think it's crappy that we've waged a war on a disease. I mean, war on drugs is pretty much wages of war on people's mental health, and it sucks because again, 99% of addicts don't want to be addicts. I promise you, they don't. They thought they were stronger than they were. Their willpower's not as strong as some people's. I mean, we gotta cut them a break, man. We can't. I mean, locking them up doesn't do anything. It doesn't help. It just makes them find more drug connections, and it's stupid. I'm rambling, but thank you guys, man. I don't know if anybody will ever even really hear this, but I'm gonna keep putting them out. I'm gonna keep. I mean, this is cathartic for me anyway. I'm gonna keep putting these out, putting these online, putting them on YouTube, and maybe somebody will get something out of some of my stories, even a laugh or whatever. Thanks, guys. Loser out.